Hello students. Today we will discuss the basic organization of computer. The basic components of a computer are input unit, CPU and output unit. The functions of a computer are accepting data, that is taking data and instructions, okay, then processing it according to the given instructions, then give the output, give the result. The input unit consists of the input devices like keyboard, mouse. Their job is to provide data and instructions to the computer in the form of input. Then comes the part of CPU, the role of CPU. The CPU is also known as the brain of the computer. It is because all the processing part is performed in this unit, that is CPU. It controls all the internal and external devices, performs arithmetic and logical operations. CPU is basically a very small silicon chip which is also called a microprocessor. It is placed inside the CPU cabinet. This microprocessor chip contains millions of transistors. It is a type of integrated chip. The speed of CPU is determined by the number of instructions it executes per second. The unit of this measurement is megahertz. After processing this data, it is sent to the output unit. This output unit consists of the output devices like monitor, speaker, which gives the output to the user. Okay. CPU consists of three main units: the memory unit, arithmetic and logical unit, and the control unit. A memory unit is the principal storage of the computer. It stores both data and instructions. It can be broadly classified into internal memory and external memory. Internal memory is also known as primary memory or main memory, which is again classified into two parts, that is RAM and ROM. External memory is also known as secondary memory or auxiliary memory. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It is a type of internal memory. Whatever data and instructions we enter into the computer, it goes into RAM and remains there as long as we are working on an application. It is not stored permanently. The moment the computer is switched off, the data is lost. The data and instructions are lost. Therefore, it is also known as volatile memory. For example, we can consider our blackboard. Whenever we write on the blackboard, we can erase it, again we can write, again we erase it, again we write, and we go on doing that repeatedly. But if we consider our notebook, once we write, it is there as a permanent thing. It is not going to be erased. It can remain with us for lifelong. So, your notebook is a permanent thing and your blackboard is a temporary thing. Fine. Likewise, calculator, when we do calculations in calculator, we don't store the data. The moment we switch it off, the data gets lost. Coming to the types of RAM, it is DRAM, that is dynamic random access memory. Now it is a bit slower than the static random access memory. The data needs to be refreshed periodically in order to retain the data. Now the next one is SRAM, that is static random access memory. It is fast and expensive. It does not need to be refreshed so periodically, so frequently like DRAM. Next is synchronous dynamic random access memory. It uses a synchronous interface to transmit large amount of data at a high speed. This improves the efficiency of the computer as data is delivered in a shorter duration. DDR, that stands for double data rate memory. It is majorly used in Intel Pentium 4 systems. It requires less power and has a speed which is double than that of SD-RAM. Now it is preferred in the processors like i3, i5, i7 because of its high speed. ROM stands for read-only memory. It is also a type of internal memory. It is non-volatile memory. That means the data or instructions are not lost with respect to the power supply. We cannot write anything in the ROM. We cannot modify anything, or nor it can be removed. It can only be read. So it is called read-only memory. It stores bootstrap loader program. Now this program is the initial program which is used to start a computer. So RAM is used during the booting process, during the starting process of the computer. Coming to the types of ROM, the first one is PROM, that is programmable read-only memory. It, it, the contents can be programmed using a special device known as PROM programmer. It is also called OTP, that is one-time programmable ROM. This means it can be programmed only once at the time of manufacturing and cannot be modified later. PROM provides a faster and less expensive approach for storing. EPROM stands for erasable programmable read-only memory. It can be erased and reprogrammed repeatedly with the help of some specialized software. The contents stored on the chip can be erased by exposing it to ultraviolet rays. However, the constant erasing and rewriting will eventually render the chip useless. It is not possible to retain the selective data from ROM. Next is EEPROM, that is electronically erasable programmable read-only memory. The contents on the chip can be erased and reprogrammed in blocks instead of one byte at a time. That means block-wise we can reprogram it. Here, instead of erasing the entire data at a time, we can erase byte by byte. So it has the provision of selective removal. Next is flash memory. It is nothing but a specific type of EEPROM which maintains the stored information even without a power source. Flash memory is durable, so it is majorly used in memory cards, mobile phones. Next is masked ROM. It is memory that is manufactured with its contents. This chip contains a software mask that is burned on the chip during the design phase of semiconductor manufacturing process. It has a long-term sustainability. Cache memory is a very high speed memory and it is expensive as well. It is used to enhance the speed of storage devices or the memory units. The CPU uses cache memory to store instructions that are repeatedly required to run programs. It can either be inserted on a motherboard or it can be made a part of the CPU. Now the second classification of memory unit is external memory. External memory is nothing but the storage devices. It is permanent in nature, it is inexpensive, it has large capacity, but the speed is slow. For example, the hard disk, CD, DVD or the pen drives. Now since the RAM is temporary in nature, we suppose we are doing something in the computer, okay? Till when we have not saved our data, it is in the RAM. Fine. The moment we save the data, it goes to the storage devices, the external memory, okay? And it becomes permanent. Like any other thing, the memory also needs to be measured. The basic units of measurement of memory are bytes, bits, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, etc. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Now 1 kilobyte is equal to 1024 bytes. Then 1 megabyte is equal to 1024 kilobyte, and so on. You can refer from the table. 1024 is equal to 2 to the power 10. The other components of CPU are ALU, that is arithmetic and logical unit, and CU, that is control unit. Arithmetic logic unit is the component of the CPU which performs the arithmetic and logical operations on the operands. The arithmetic operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, while the logical operations are comparison operators like greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, etc. The control unit extracts the instructions from the memory, decodes them and sends the necessary signals to the ALU to perform the required operation. It is also called the central nervous system of a computer system, as it manages all other units. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.